Sportsmanship, leadership, inspire, determination, excitement. Welcome to the Slide Podcast. Your hosts, Jen and Aaron, are on deck and ready to introduce the current stars of Little League Baseball. So grab your favorite sports drink, fasten your chin strap, and get ready to go inside the chalk lines of our Little League fields. Here are your hosts, Coach Jen and Coach Aaron.
So we wanted to start this call off in reflecting our last podcast that included Coach Lee Isaac's 6U Little League baseball team. So we had 5 Little Leaguers on the show with us, and it was pretty fun, I guess, sitting there and seeing these kids interview like superstars, right?
I had a good time. So my son plays with some of their older brothers, and it was really, really neat to talk to the moms afterwards. They were just simply smitten with their little boys. So proud of them. One of the parents was taking pictures, and she sent out this folder of pictures. And it's such good memories for these kids.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because as they walked in, I think all but one was like in shock with the microphones and just nervous because a few of them even wouldn't even like sit down in the chairs at first. And
they
these
didn't want
kids,
the headphones. They didn't want
Yep. And so after we got started, it was fun. But honestly, I think about why we started this podcast and why it's so important to myself and you is just to make those kids feel special. I mean, there's so much negativity in the world today, and to be able to share something that I don't think anybody, how could anybody say they didn't enjoy that? So today we're going to have Louisville Slugger certified hitting instructor Matt Hollix from Hollix Hitting Garage in Tampa, Florida. And we're also going to have, and you've probably seen her name throughout social media, really on a lot of news channels around just Umpire getting attacked. So we're going to have Christy Moore on tonight with us, and she's going to sort of walk us through and tell us a little bit about what happened to her on the baseball field, because probably most of you guys have seen the article. But on top of that, we want her opinion too on Little League Baseball and the things she's seen in her years of umpiring. So sound good?
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to call Matt now.
While he's doing that, I want to encourage everyone, if you haven't listened to the last podcast that we did, I want you to pay attention to something throughout that. So listen to it and see if you can tell how shy the kids were at first, and then kind of how things changed and how the jokes about why the chicken crossed the road and being mad at Freddie Freeman. See if anybody picked that up.
Oh, yeah. We got to give Freddie Freeman a shout out.
Hashtag Freddie Freeman.
That's right. Because at his first at bat against his former team, the Atlanta Braves, he hit a massive home run. So huge shout out to Freddie Freeman. All right. We have Matt Hollix from Hollix Hitting Garage on with us, as well as our special guest, Christy Moore. And so we're going to start with Matt. Matt lives in Tampa, Florida. He's a VP for a corporate America company, but he's found a new hobby and something that I think it's amazing for him to share his story and talk a little bit about what he does now to help train and prepare our youth baseball players to grow into major league players. So Matt, I'll turn it over to you and you can tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've got going on.
Fantastic. Thanks, Aaron. A little bit of a hobby with a little passion behind it, coming and stemming from a place of just wanting to help. So, live down in Tampa, Florida now, corporate, like Aaron said, do stuff on the talent acquisition side for a very large domestic and international bank, but always had a passion for baseball. I grew up, I was a Colony Little League. I grew up in Albany, New York, out of our capital in New York, in a town called Colony. And I was tried and true and bled garnet and gold and grew up in the rec ball Little League system in all my memories. My fondest memories, and I was blessed to have a really great baseball career through college into the professional ranks and what I'm doing now. But all of my favorite memories happened at Cook Park at Colony Little League.
Yeah. How was Colony? That's upstate New York?
Upstate New York. Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't get much better. Well, it's 87 here in Tampa, Aaron, but it's 35 in Colony, and their opening day is this Saturday. So we'll see how it is. But,
that may be opening day with some snow on the field.
Yeah. They're clearing it off as we speak. But no, just kind of went through the rankings of Little League, moved up to Babe Ruth, played some Connie Mack ball, played obviously in middle school and high school, was blessed to go and be a student athlete at Mount St. Mary College, which is a small private Catholic school about an hour and a half south of Albany, an hour and a half north of New York City. Was, again, I'm going to use the word blessed, folks, a lot, because I am truly blessed to have a good career there. 4 New York State All-Star, co-captain, basically champion. My senior year, our college's team to the NCAA tournament was the first time any sport out of our college has been to the NCAA tournament, and then was blessed in 2014 to be inducted into their Sports Hall of Fame. So pretty decent career. Went undrafted. I was lucky enough to be picked up professionally on an independent baseball contract out of the Frontier League, and this is back in 99, 2000, and I went out to Huntingtonburg, Indiana, and played for the Huntingtonburg Dragons in and around the Jasper area. And if anybody is familiar with that area, my home field that I played on was where they shot a league of their own. The Roxford Beaches, So, Madonna, all the things, Tom Hanks, that locker room, that was my locker room. But
there's no crying in baseball came from there.
There's no that dugout was our home dugout. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So just, again, blessed to give back from that point, indirectly not knowing I was the last guy at the field signing autographs for the kids. And the baseball was worth more than my autograph. But I was not knowing at the time I was giving back because I was that kid when I was little. Albany, the Yankees AA team, Albany Colony Yankees, was right in my backyard growing up. And I remember being that kid, not knowing some of these guys on the field by the names of Posada or Derek Jeter that I'm getting autographs later were the standard for the New York Yankees. And I was just a kid wanting an autograph for somebody in pinstripes.
That's what makes baseball so great.
So great, right? So I was just giving back when I was playing in independent ball, and then had an injury, unfortunately, and that kind of ended my career. But then my passion to give back to youth sports, any sport, but baseball, kind of accelerated from there, especially once I moved out of the New York area. When I went back home, moved down to New Jersey with my wife. We settled in Tampa to start our family. And then my daughter started playing t-ball. And then next thing you know, I'm coaching in our little league here in Riverview, just south of Tampa. And they go out in an 8U, win the Florida State Championship. And they were the first champions on the baseball or softball side out of this 35-year history of this league. Then the parents were like, let's play travel ball. You know how that goes,
it's
right?
The next
That's
natural step. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Jen just got into the travel ball, I think, this season. So she's finding out.
We could have a whole nother call. I'll give you all the good bad.
I could tell you some travel ball stories.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, Christy too. Yeah, I'm sure. But we traveled. They went on. They were a local team. It was all the girls from the league. So they all knew each other because they went to two schools. So they were like schoolmates, and they had play dates. But then they were a powerhouse on the softball team because they all stayed together. They all knew each other. And we ended up getting picked up when they were 12 by a national powerhouse out of Southern California called the Orange County Batbusters. And we were their first East Coast expansion team. And I was their hitting coach and assistant coach. And we ended up traveling all over the country for 4 years.
You know what? It's funny you say that because as I've introducing myself to all these different social media platforms, I'm starting to see a lot of those type organizations throughout the country where they're just expanding. And you've got almost this brand of Little League Baseball that's spreading throughout the country. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's cool to see. And technology allows us to do that now, which is great, right? But yeah, fast forward, I would say 4 years later, we kicked off Hollix Hitting Garage, and it's a business. It's a side business. Well, it was the side business that my wife and I started with our two children. Sophia, she's a junior at Riverview High School. My son, Jackson, he's 13 and he's in middle school at Barrington Middle School here in Riverview. And I have a very large network up in the Capital District region in New York. So I have boots on the ground up there. My mother still lives up there. All of my Little League friends I'm still friends with thanks to Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook.
Right.
And we decided to do individual, group, team-based hitting instruction. Myself and my daughter, she works with the 10 and under fast pitch, and I work with fast pitch and mostly baseball. And I was doing lessons, and it was going real well. And we started doing hitting tours. Like we traveled up to Colony, New York, and I put on camps, and we brought in DJs and bounce houses and brought in community leaders and vendors and made it an event for the league.
Right. And
it went off really well. And every event we have, we do a charity of cause. Mm-hmm. So we drive funds or volunteerism or awareness around a cause specific to that area. I could speak. I don't want to hijack this whole podcast because there's so much we got to talk about, but that is now morphed into this year where we are doing my Hollix Hitting Garage crew. We are doing 10 events in the United States across the eastern seaboard. We're going to be doing one in the Bahamas of Nassau, on the island of Nassau. And Louisville Slugger Hitting Science Center is staying right by my side, and they're going to be doing some cool things at my events too.
Yeah. So talk about, I know you explained to me and I've read so much, but walk us through a little bit about like your partnership with Louisville Slugger and like how that came about.
Yeah, that's crazy. And all this stuff has happened, folks, in about a 4-week period of Hollix Hitting Garage accelerating to partnerships that are, for most, seem unreachable. But I wrote them in a business plan. I had a plan of attack. I had a vision, and I just executed, and things have happened. But Lindsay Gardner, she's a former Team USA Olympian. She was an All-American out of Texas Longhorns. She was a hitting instructor out in Southern California, and I followed her on Instagram, and I used to send pitch videos of my girls that hit home runs to her, and she would share it. This was about 4 years ago when I was coaching. Well, fast forward, those same girls that are 12 years old, they're in high school now doing the same exact things, the same girls that I'm instructing under Hollix Hitting Garage. So I sent her videos, and she said, "Oh my God, Matt, these are the girls that you sent me 4 years ago." I said, "Yeah, they're power hitters in Hillsborough County. They're also leaders in their schools for different clubs. They do community service. So they're pillars of the community now at 16, 17, inside and outside the lines." And she goes, "Do you want to jump on an Instagram Live and be on my podcast and just talk about," she went down the wormhole of my Instagram accounts of what we do and who we serve as servant leaders of Hollix Hitting Garage. Right. And she goes, "You're doing stuff that people talk about and some people do, but you're just doing." I said, "Yeah, me and my family are just doing it out of the goodness of our hearts." So Lindsay at the time was tied to the Louisville Slugger Hitting Science Center that just opened in January. And she also got hired on as the first ever female coach of the Wild Health Gnomes out of the Atlantic Independent League in the Midwest. So she's awesome. A trailblazer. And then I just got connected with Chad Miller, the owner and founder of the Louisville Slugger Hitting Science Center, and Heather Keeper, the GM. And our relationship has just morphed over the last couple of weeks. I'm going to go down and work their collegiate development camp in June. They're sending a mobile analytics testing lab to all of my youth hitting sites that the youth can go in it, and then 12, 13, 14, 16, 18 new travel fast pitch players and baseball players can go in it and get this analytics package from Louisville Slugger that there's nothing else like it on the planet. And it just changes the game as far as recruiting profile and whatnot. So
yeah, you and I were talking the other day, and now colleges and recruiting really are using that technology to really, like I think you were explaining to me the other day around how they analyze your swing. And they can tell really where they can help you and what the benefit is coming from it.
100%. And there's a lot of, I want to get down to the core of the Little League, right? And we'll talk about that. Yeah. But this type of technology was used by Mike Trout 3 years ago, and only he had access, or Aaron Judge or Freddie Freeman. Now, 3 years later, anybody in any league at any age can go through this, and Louisville Slugger Hitting Science Center will have scientific fact, your body position in various points of the swing, from stance to stride to launch to the physical swing, and then through the ball, and then be able to give you a game plan to help you self-correct anything that can't be picked up by the naked eye. Or the 240 frames that are on your iPhone or Android. That's fantastic, but they can shoot 2,000. Plus, they have ground pressure technology. They got neuroscience. They got optics. It's next level. And it's going to make coaches at the college level and the recruiters for the universities so much easier when they get an email and they see Louisville Slugger Analytics on an email. They know that they got everything that they need.
Well, here we go. This is a good time for us, for all the little leaguers out there listening. Pay attention in science. Like, science, even though you may not like it today, talking about plants and all that fun stuff, science is so much and plays a part in all of our lives. So, yeah. Matt, one of the big reasons where, like, you and I talked and around why we wanted you on the podcast is not only just because how well your business is going and what you're offering to, youth kids throughout the nation, but one of the things that I've found over the past few years, and I think Jen and I both talked about it, is kids don't see hitting off a tee is beneficial to them. And we want to talk about Mike Trout and Freddie Freeman and all these Major League Baseball players out there. That's what they use every single day in their home. And we've got parents and coaches listening, kids as well. Walk us through why hitting off a tee is so important.
Yep. So first of all, the connotation of the garage or Hollix hitting garage has you could go a lot of different ways, but there's tools in everybody's garage, right? That is the number one tool that's in my garage is the tee. To be able to isolate the ball, the baseball, and isolate it and not have it move and being in a still position where you can move it around the strike zone and out of the strike zone.
Yep.
And really then using the same wording, isolate and position your body to get in different positions based on where that ball is. It is very, very challenging for a coach, for another 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 4-year-old to pitch a ball in specific locations in the top third, middle third, bottom third of the strike zone. The tee is the ultimate tool for baseball hitting because you can work everything. And it's such a simplified process where you can get a tremendous amount of repetitions in a short period of time rather than doing front flips or live pitch. And all of that is still good, or soft toss on the side. But the tee, and if you're 6 years old, I have a 5-year-old, JP, Aaron, and I know you've seen him. And if you guys, I'll give out all my socials on YouTube. So JP, he used, and we'll get into this visual aid tool that Dominic Albanese, the owner, created. It's the most unbelievable tool I ever seen. It's so elementary, but he hits off the tee. He swings off the tee 35 to 40 times in a 15-minute period at 5 years old, and I don't even put the ball on the tee for him. He does it himself.
Wow, that's crazy.
So when you talk about, and I can get Louisville Slugger hitting Science Center as far as scientific, but I can make it consumable. But if you are creating at a young age, the cognitive development skills that you acquire when you're 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, they are the foundation because everything is concrete. Once they become 8, 9, 10, it starts to become logic and they start having understanding and they create their own identities around things.
Yep.
So what we have to do as parents, coaches, grandparents, whatever, is put them in a position from a neurological standpoint that you're developing their muscles based on their brain to constantly swing correctly on an object that's going to be eventually moving when they move up, but have it stationary. So if you're not using a tee, go to my website, hit me up on DM. I will send you one.
Yeah, it's, that hand-eye coordination, we take it for granted. The kids take it for granted. Really, because that's what they're truly trying to do. And I can speak for a coach that I have struck out many a kid, and it broke my heart as a coach's pitch coach, where it just breaks your heart to strike them out because I can't put the ball perfectly every time, but that tee is going to be there.
I can speak a little bit from a physical therapist perspective. So contrary to popular belief, I'm not a podcaster full time. I'm actually a physical therapist. So that neurocognitive development is so important. And working with youth athletes myself and having young kids, I can tell you it's just as important as, like, you always want a kid, if at all possible, to go from being able to roll over to being able to crawl and then to being able to walk. So it's so similar in that this is the crawling stage. So I've done hitting lessons at a local facility, and the kids will say, like, we've been working on the tee for 10 or 15 minutes at the beginning of a session, and they'll say, well, when am I going to get to hit? I'm like, it's so hard to get through to them that this is where it starts. Yep. So they need the tools to be able to crawl before they walk.
Matt, you and I were talking, I think at 12:30 last night, but
we were.
Yes, we were. You got to try to make it fun for the kids. I can understand that attention span because I think even as a 44-year-old adult, I think I'm 44, but I know my attention span. But make it fun, like you said. Think about moving the ball around the plate. It doesn't always have to be right down the middle because that's not where that pitcher wants to put it. Yep. So But yeah, moving it around the plate, and you actually mentioned it earlier, so let's just go ahead and tee it up on the show, is you use a tool for all of your batters, right? And so talk to us about that a little bit.
So in relation to perfect stance?
Yeah.
Yeah, this thing Aaron and Christy, I mean, it is so elementary and so basic, but it is essentially, and I got to give all the props and blessings in the world to Dominic Albanese, the owner, founder, creator of this patented tool. Just like Christy said, it basically creates, from a neurological muscular training standpoint, to put a batter in an athletic position that's the perfect stance. Yeah. Before anything in their body moves, so negative if they load, to even if they pick up their foot to stride, whatever it is, when they're stationary, before their body starts moving, this is a mat that goes on the floor that has their feet imprints on it that creates muscle memory. So after they swing, if they miss, they're back in an actual perfect athletic position to be able to then start the movement of training them to swing properly and whatnot. You don't have to say, put your feet this way, make your feet wider, put your feet shorter. You don't have to, and I hate to say this in time and age, you don't have to touch a child anymore.
Right.
And from a development standpoint, I've taken it an additional layer to go back to the cognitive development of a 3 to 7 year old. And I use it for defense. It puts them in a perfect stance to be able to get down and field the ground ball. Right. We do hand-eye drills with tennis balls, with small golf wiffle balls. Heck, I put, Aaron, I don't know if you've seen this, I put a Roby fan that I hang on the fence in these hot summers in Florida. I put it on home plate. I had my JP run up, get in an athletic position on the perfect stance mat, and then I took a little balloon and I blew it up, and it floats in the air, and he grabs at it, and he throws it back to me, and he does it again. So his training has accelerated in 6 months, where his mother, Nikki, there's points where she's breaking down crying because he is so far developed more from a motor skill standpoint, not just swinging a baseball bat, but total things in his house, as far as walking through the house, going downstairs, grabbing things off the countertop, twisting and turning, looking for things. She just sees a difference in him in his everyday life, how he actually carries his body, opposed to before he came to the hitting garage and used the perfect stance mat. Wow. It's really, really interesting to see. And then, heck, you put these things in the field to play, and you put one in the left-hand batter's box, one in the right-hand batter's box in your T-ball leagues, and you have parents that pay $100 to $125 to register their kid, and they get 2 at-bats in 12 games, they get 24 swings. The cost of your service goes way, way down, because a whole full team is going to get about 3 to 4 swings a game, which will equate to 30 to 50 more swings a player every season. Wow, and the game just flows smoother because they literally go up, they stand on the mat, they're in a position, they put the bat up, they swing, they run. The next one does it, and then you can throw it in the field.
I know. Well, Coach Jen's actually, I think you're a T-ball coach this year, I believe, right?
That's right.
So, I mean, thinking about, I know that at least from my time, and Christy, I know you've seen so many of these games where you're just waiting for that kid to get his feet right. And, you know, I as a coach, you know, you're running over to try to help position their feet, and I'm literally like grabbing their feet and their shoes and saying, put it right here. And every pitch, you're almost doing that because they swing and then it breaks
their feet.
Yeah, it breaks their body motion. I mean, it's you think about, and you pointed this out to Jen and I both the other day around just how much more faster those games will go and how many more reps those kids will get by using this.
God, and the development, right? They're going to be on base more. They're going to be running. You want these kids running more and having fun. Once things start flowing, from a coaching and a fan perspective, and Jen, you know this, one of the pain points of anxiety at that level is transitioning in between half innings after you're getting your third out on offense, and you got to put these kids in the field. You tell them to go to second base, they're going to go stand on.
They're going to stand on the bag. That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Every time.
But if you can preset everything on a whiteboard or a piece of paper or a clipboard, and Billy, you're going to first. Go to the first base, perfect stance mat. Boom, Billy's standing, and he turns around and he bends his knees and puts his glove out. He's in a perfect position. Right. Susie, go to second. You can put them in every single position. And then what it does is that speeds up the game too, because you're not out drawing circles. You're not out moving kids around. So obviously the transition period, and I can do a whole podcast on transitions, and we coach this in between innings. And he said the game, anytime we can efficiently make a youth game more efficient and not speed it up, but condense the time of things like that, it allows the kid to play more ball.
And we talked about this again the other day. It was, you think about the situation for some kids in our leagues is there may be a single parent in the home. We've got so many things going on right now as parents and as coaches. And if you've got the perfect stance hitting mats in your garage and you have a batting tee, and you have a net, that kid can go out there and learn the right way really by themselves. Just that reps of swinging and putting their feet in the right place, and that muscle memory just comes into play.
Natural. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to have a tee. I would not say go to a construction site around your town and take a cone, but there you can get real creative. I grew up in my garage, Aaron, at 328 Sand Creek Road in Colony. I grew up hitting off a tee on a dirt floor in my detached garage. My father hung a quilt. I hit into a quilt for 5 years when I was 4 to 9. Like, we didn't have these bow nets back in the day. But yeah, you're talking about, due to a lot of variables in the world and what's going on with COVID and all the things, you have a lot of single parents. This is a tool that Susie or Billy at the age of 4, 5, 6, when they're starting their baseball or softball career and having fun and keeping it more engaging and fun, so they want to actually learn more and do it. Perfect stance mat with a tee, it's a win-win combination. Right. And like I said, for JP, the first 2 lessons I had with him, I put the ball in the tee. The next 3, I actually, down from the left-hand batter's box to the right where he stands, I built an arc into where the catchers stand, and I just placed 5 balls. And he goes and grabs one, puts it on the tee, stands on the mat, puts the bat on his shoulder, he lifts it up, and then he turns and swings. And he goes, grabs another ball, puts it on the tee, stands his feet on the mat, bends his knees, bat on the shoulder, picks it up, swings.
Yep. I've seen the videos, and his swing, you see the difference in his swing.
You see the difference, and now we're to a point, and a quick Hollix hitting garage tip, and all of this is just my opinion. I'd never put a ball on a tee for a kid that's 5 years old up to the kids I work with in high school and college, and now I'm going to be working with some professionals.
Right.
I actually stand back and I flip them the ball, and I use that time as another training regimen of hand-eye coordination for them to actually catch the ball and put it on the tee themselves. If you're putting the ball on a tee for a kid, you're actually losing that period of time and opportunity within 5 seconds to actually develop them even further.
I was just at the cages Monday night, and I was moving the tee around, and we were doing it fast. But you're right. Like, that's another little thing that we can do to help that hand-eye coordination and just catching that ball. So that's amazing. So, but no, if you haven't followed and took a look at Matt's page, Hollix Hitting Garage, I told Matt the other day, I think some of these things are just so simple. And it didn't take rocket scientists to figure some of this stuff out. I mean, you can build your confidence in your own garage. So
100%. I actually like that. We need to tag it, Aaron, and we need to put it up. That's going to be the Slide Podcast t-shirt. That'll be on the back.
That's right.
And then it'll be my website. But no, you can go to hittinggarage.com, all one word, hittinggarage.com. Perfect stance mats. There's a link down at the bottom on my page, or heck, you can go to
we'll put it in there.
Stance.com. And this tool, you don't even need a tee. You could actually have them just stand on it, swing, step off of it, stand back on it again, swing, and just like Christy said earlier, from a neurological muscular training standpoint, they're going to develop really, really fast. Even if you didn't have a tee or a ball, heck, you don't even need a bat.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, just stepping in and out of the box is a challenge for some kids.
Correct, 100%.
Man, that's amazing. And on the podcast, and the reason Jen and I really wanted to start is there's nothing to replace a smile on a kid when they get that first hit, they score that first run. And I personally, from a father, that I coach my son, and I'm going to tell you, if you've got a magic pill for the anxiety level for that alone, I would love it. But I deal with that as well.
Hey, I need one too.
Yes, please. But I'm going to tell you, that's what coaching my own son, and we talked about it on our very first podcast, it is a challenge because the amount of stress, when he walks up to the batter's box, all of a sudden 50 pounds of weight drops on my shoulder. But simplifying it for these kids, helping them grow their talent, just in their overall confidence. is freaking amazing to help these kids at such a young age.
Aaron, I'm going to drop a little bit more on my YouTube channel, on my social pages. So a big part of Hollix Hitting Garage, we do mindset and approach consultation. And I do it at the age for 5 years old all the way up to high school and college. There are so many things prior to stepping in that batter's box that you can do to raise your percentages to be able to hit that ball and get on base. And most importantly, try to, as you get older, get to second base in one swing and put yourself in scoring position. And heck, do it really well and you really develop yourself. You swing one time, you score a run. So there are so many things to do as soon as you step on that field, an hour before the game, 30 minutes before the game, whatever, leading up to your first at bat, before you literally physically step in that batter's box. There are an abundance of things that you can do to raise your confidence level, to increase your percentages of hitting that ball hard and getting on base and or getting in scoring position. And I do it at my camps. We start our camps at home. Everybody that's listening to this podcast, hopefully in some capacity, has a home. And it looks like a home. Home plate looks like a house. And we start at home, and we always want to come home. That's how you win the game of baseball or softball. Right. You step on that plate more than the other team. That's the game. Like, there's no clock. Like, that's the game, right?
Yeah, you protect your home.
Yeah, you got to protect your home. And we walk around the bases and we talk about what can we do to increase our percentages of building our confidence to get in the box and raising our chances to the most. If you ask these kids, they like hitting the ball. They may like throwing somebody out or making a nice play. They love to run the bases.
Yeah, they do.
Kids love, at all ages, 3 to pros. If you ask them, they love to run the bases. It's fun.
And slide.
Yeah, slide. It's right. The podcast.
Get dirty.
Get dirty. Have fun. And if there's a lot of things that a lot of youth coaches and volunteers, they know these things, but there's so many other things going on that they're trying to do to help. They don't think of some of the really, real elementary basic things of timing when you get it prior on deck before you get in. Just the sense of getting your timing down. 75% of hitting, no matter what your swing looks like, is just being on time.
Yep.
Watching a pitcher if they're warming up in the bullpen and warming up on the mound in between innings. That's big.
You know, what's funny you say that is I took my son to drum lessons for the first time a couple weeks ago, and staying in time with a beat has so much relevant to sports, because if you can time that beat and keep your head in that loop, you can time that pitcher up. You walk up to the batter's box and you see that first pitch, and it may be for a 12U, they may be hitting 50 miles an hour or higher. Like, you can start to time it.
That is an amazing, like, pulling in something that's outside. Aaron, that's a great story that I'm going to actually just hijack. I'll always quote you on it and start using it. I play music in the garage, or when I'm mobile, or actually even in my camp events when I have 20 or 50 campers. I got a DJ. My good buddy that was 4 years old grew up because his mother, Anita, was my mom's Avon lady. And he's my DJ now at my events.
I got to ask you, Matt, is she driving a pink Cadillac?
She did not drive the pink Cadillac. That was all for show on their commercials. But,
okay.
But yeah, I play music and I reference Cool Runnings, the movie Cool Runnings.
Oh, John Candy.
John Candy was in. They mirrored it. It's obviously there's some Hollywood, but after the Jamaica that came in to the Olympics, and Sanka Coffee, their one guy, I love the name, Sanka Coffee. Mm-hmm. He came up with a tagline, said, "Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme." If you have rhythm, you can hit, because everything else is teachable.
Yep.
To get that timing down, to be able to get into, as you get older, to get into your negative or your backside, and then be under control to come forward from the ground up, rotate and hit the ball. It's the difference between hitting it over the shortstop head and the left fielder and center fielder cutting it off, and that ball going in the gap, and now you're in scoring position.
Yeah. One of the things that I did a couple of weeks back at practice is, as soon as you, and I've just learned from you, Matt, but as soon as I place the ball on a tee, I got a kid ready to swing. And so my challenge to them was, all right, I coach 8U. So I put the ball on the tee and they can't swing until I hit the 3. And so I changed the pattern is how I count. Good. And then so I was catching while we were pitching for these kids. And so as they stepped up to bat, I was going 1, 2, and I was helping them count off the pitch. And I'm going to tell you that practice, we were hitting amazing. And for the parents out there, if your kids aren't listening to music, they're not into music, find them something they like with a good beat, because that timing in their head, to me, music makes sense for everything. And that's going to come up later in the podcast, because I got questions for you guys, music related. But yeah, great point. I mean, there's so many little things in life that can play into this.
100%. Everything I know, and Aaron, in our conversations, and Jen, briefly talking to you, and Christy, knowing your background, these are life skills, right? We're going to be talking baseball, Little League baseball, but a lot of this is just transferable to life as youth development or as adults.
Leadership, teamwork, all of that stuff.
All of it. I mean, if you have a son or daughter that's playing Little League baseball or fast pitch softball, they've chose the hardest sport to play. You're hitting a round object with a round object, and your win to fail ratio is much lower than any other sport. But if they're coached properly, and there's some cool things that I can get into this podcast, or if I'm welcomed on again, hopefully, that I can talk about my partnership in Louisville Slugger Hitting Science Center that they're going to be doing to kind of change the game and help volunteer coaches across the country. I mean, there's just a lot that we can do to be better to help these youth hitters, and we got to keep it kind of simple and elementary, because the small little simple things have tremendous, huge impacts. When we kind of convolute it a little bit too much, they don't consume it. They don't know what's going on. And then that's when it gets all wonky and crazy.
It is. And imagine just everything that's going on in that. Every kid that walks up to bat, what they're having to face. I mean, the amount of pressure, I can't imagine. We think these kids have very, very simple lives, and because they get up, and the parents pay all the bills, and they go to school, they come home, they play. But there's a lot of pressure put on these kids these days, and the more we can simplify it. And Matt, I think I said this the other day, but keep it simple, stupid. That was one of the things that I took away from a manager that I had probably 20 years ago, and it's always stuck with me, is just keep it simple.
Yep, 100%.
Well, awesome. Matt, thank you so much. And definitely stay on here, because we're going to get into Christy's story a little bit. Christy, we're going to give you a chance to talk to us a little bit about what you've been through with Little League sports and youth as we continue to go.
Yeah, I'm staying on. Thank you guys for allowing me to have
that. Was awesome. I love hearing your perspective.
So we just finished with Matt, and Matt's hanging on the call with us tonight. And now we've got Christy Moore. You guys have probably seen her picture all over your social media if you follow anything related to sports, youth baseball, softball. She's been all over your news feed. So Christy was the umpire that had been attacked as a result of one of her calls that she made on the field as an umpire. As a coach, I've been there. I've been very frustrated with the Christies of the world. I think Coach Jen has as well, and probably Matt as well. So Christy, tell us what happened.
So this was a tournament, 12U softball game. Had an umpire get sick, so I jumped out on the field to call this game. And during the course of this game, this one team was particularly kind of rowdy and just kind of acting up a little bit. And then had a call at second base, a slide. Runner was under the tag. I called her safe. And this lady just got irate at this point and started screaming profanities at me across the field. She was going to F me up, calling me the B word. I was a cheater. I was cheating these kids, those kind of things. I told her she was going to have to leave. She told me she was not leaving. So I went to the coach and told the coach that if she did not leave, because we did not tolerate that kind of behavior in front of the kids, then the game was going to be a forfeit. I was calling it, and he was going to lose. And at that point, he just he never moved off his bucket. He never got up. He just kind of looked down there and told somebody to tell her to leave. At that point, she got up. She looked at me and said, "When you come off that field, I'm going to slap the F out of you, B word." And she turned around and walked away. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, she's mad, but she's going to go on and calm down. She's going to go leave and she'll calm down and whatever. I didn't think anything else about it. We played 2 more innings of this game, and I was about 3 steps off the field And I mean, she was just there. And she said, now, what do you have to say to me? B word, don't play with me. And she punched me.
Wow.
So my first question, was that her child that was the one that slid into second base?
I have no idea.
You don't know?
I know her.
Not that that would justify it by any means.
Right.
I'm not saying that, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just wondered. It sounds like she was hot to trot to begin with anyway.
Oh my God. I can't
This
imagine.
was actually, the one that punched me was actually the second lady off this team that I had ejected from this game.
Has anything
So
like this ever happened to you before? Or is this the first time?
Anybody that officiated knows you get the general heckling, come on, Blue, where's your glasses? You missed that one,
Yeah.
And, and sometimes that can be all in good fun. And I mean, of course, I've been cussed at and I've been invited to the parking lot to have my butt whipped, after a game.
But even that's
that
not
kind of
okay. Not okay.
No, it's not. And of course, been cussed up one side and down the other and called every name in the book. But this is the first time that anyone has ever put their hands on me.
It's insane. We think about the youth and the generation that we've got right now before us, and we don't need to expose them to any more violence than what they already are exposed to, and that's just insane. And Little League should be, for me, as a person that battles with depression, and I'll say this to anyone, Little League to me adds a smile to my face. And the last thing that I want to hear, I remember because I saw your posts, or I saw the news story, I think from Sporting News or someone out there, and I just couldn't believe it because that was the first thing that I saw was your face. Like, did she knock you out?
No, look, she didn't even knock me down. Like, I didn't go down. I was talking to one reporter, and he was like, okay, so you're down on the ground. And I'm like, oh, no, back it up.
There you go.
No, sir. She sucker punched me, and she gave me a shiner, but she didn't knock me down. I didn't go down.
I was talking to a patient today about having you on the podcast. So I found you on Facebook and showed her, I think it was the latest news story with the lady's mugshot. And what struck me was her shirt.
I don't even think I paid attention to that.
It says Mother of the Year.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, there we go.
I thought that was entertaining.
Yeah. Wow.
I got a question for Chrissy, but first off, I want to commend you. You on indirectly making the ultimate sacrifice that there is now written law that's going to be changed. And hopefully this goes throughout the entire country to make this thing something. It's interesting. Aaron, you and I talk about the corporate world and how it relates to a lot of things we do on the youth sports level as well. But as a millennial or a Gen Y born person, and then you have your Gen Zs or your iGens or your Centennials that are born in whatever.
You done got down a hole and lost me on that one.
The Gen Zs?
Oh, sorry.
That's the
it stems from home plate. This all stems from the home.
That's right.
Like, we got to do a better job of being human beings as a person first, because it breaks my heart when I hear, and I've seen it all, same thing. I've seen it as coaches. I've seen it as fans. And, the game of baseball and softball is so fast. Everybody talks about, it's so slow. To have to make a decision at an umpire at any level, from T-ball all the way up to the professionals, you are never going to be right. There's going to be somewhere there, somebody outside the lines that's 100 to 200 feet away that doesn't have the same point of view as the actual decision maker on the field. It's almost like being a principal at a high school. There's no way you're going to make everybody happy, right? The thing is this all stems way back, not because of that call. It's based on how that home life of that person or those people or who they associate themselves with and how they live their lives as a human being. Excellent. And that's where I think, just as humans on this planet, I think we're doing a better job. I think we can actually be better than we are, because if you really, really look at it, there's no logic to that whole entire situation on why it happened. But I want to thank you on behalf of everybody, because you're making, unfortunately, the situation, you're turning this into the ultimate sacrifice, and there's going to be law changes based around it. And the biggest thing is youth coaches. If there's youth coaches listening to this and parents, we need to do a better job of setting the standard before the game of play, before the league, at practices, on codes of conduct as adults. Because if we're acting like that as adults, What the heck is 8-year-olds? Oh, that's acceptable behavior.
That's
No, there
right.
should be zero tolerance. That's right.
So I want to say, I could really blow this podcast up on this because it burns me up. But I wanted to more so just, unfortunately, due to the circumstance, the situation, one, I want to thank you for being a youth umpire there in Laurel, because we're losing them at high clips.
Yeah,
I mean, kids are going to start losing opportunities and playing games and playing tournaments if we don't have umpires and officials in all sports, if parents continue to act the way they do. And that's going to be the worst situation.
And I think, Christy, I think it was one of your posts that you mentioned, like, if you wonder why there's only one umpire when there should be two, then this is why. Yep, I read that today.
Yeah, and I've said that to every reporter, every interview, everything that I've done, that this is approaching at a rapidly fast rate, that you're not going to be taking your kid to a ball game because you're not going to have any officials in any sport there to call this game for your child. And it's a sad, sad situation, but there is a nationwide shortage of officials across the board in every sport. And it's just come down to the veterans are done. Hey, look, it wasn't like this 20, 30 years ago. We're not putting up with this. We're done. We don't have to do this anymore. And so they're leaving. And I'm speaking for myself here and other UICs or whatever. In that capacity, we recruit, and we try to get new people in to do this. And we train them and we put our heart and soul into it. And 3-4 games in, they get a good cussing out and an invitation to the parking lot to have their ass whooped, and they're out. You know, no, thank you. I can cut grass on the weekend. I can find something else to do to put a little change in my pocket. I'm not going to put up with this abuse. And look, at the end of the day, who can blame them? You can't be mad at them.
Not at all. Yeah.
No.
You can't blame them. I've had so many parents reach out to me on Facebook and tell me, you know, oh, like my kid was thinking about getting into this. He's 18 years old. She's 19 years old. There's no way I'm allowing that now. That's just not going to happen. I fear that something like this would happen to him. And, you know, just as a society as a whole, we have to do better than this. This is not acceptable. This is not okay. It doesn't matter at the end of the day if I missed the call or not. I didn't miss this particular call.
You're going to stand firm on that.
Out there. I didn't miss this call. I even called Tom myself and went to my partner and was like, look, did I blink too long? Did I miss a tag? Did she tag down low and I completely just missed it? I'll fix it. He was like, no, I have the same thing you do. No coach came to me and asked me to do that. I did it on my own, because if I missed it and he saw something different, I want to make it right. Because I want to do what's fair for the kids, and that's what's fair for them. But he was like, no, you have it right. But even if it was a blown call, that doesn't give her the right to react the way that she did.
You see it all over sports today. The kicker that misses the field goal, the umpire that blows the call, they start getting death threats. And you're teaching a kid, especially as we're talking about Little League and youth softball, baseball, like you're the authority figure on the field. And to some degree, like you're the end all. There's no jury. And so teaching the kid to respect that authority is so important. Right.
There's no respect.
I wonder, too, you have up-and-coming female NFL referees and WNBA.
Major League Baseball now, too.
Yeah, MLB. So I wonder if she would have reacted the same if it were a male, number one, and hopefully that this wouldn't deter females from trying to climb up the ranks. I mean, we've made leaps and strides in the last 20, 30 years as far as equal pay and things like that. So,
Jen, you and I must be webbed together through Aaron and obviously Christy due to your story, because my head was just spinning in 5,000 directions based on exactly what you said. To everybody that has ears to this podcast, I would like to challenge everybody that's listening. For all the Christy Moores that are out there, let's do the right thing. Take pictures with your umpires. Post videos of them
celebrate.
Let's celebrate our referees and our umpires and post it on your Facebook, post it on your Instagram, make a TikTok with you dancing with them. Let's really blow up the positivity of these individuals that take time out of, one, their day, secondly, probably their core job, that they just love giving back to youth sports to being an official in any sport. But I want to challenge everybody, Aaron, Jen, right to your point. I can get into women empowerment and the stuff I'm doing, Lindsay Gardner and Rachel Bethlebeck, the first manager of a professional team. Let's really blow up Facebook, the internet. You can tag the podcast, the Slide podcast. You can tag How It's Hitting Garage. But let's really showcase the good and not have more of the bad out on.
Yeah, and we need that. Officials across the board, we need that, particularly now. We're weary, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know how to put it. We're tired. We're beat down. There's so much more negativity towards us than there is positive things. And at some point, everybody has a breaking point.
We're going to change that now after this podcast.
That's right. Well, Christy, I got to ask you the question because you've gotten all this national media attention and all this recognition, and we've invited you on our special podcast, but you don't make a living being an umpire, though, do you?
No.
Right.
No.
Right.
I'm actually the AmeriCorps program director for the city of Laurel is my day job. And then I'm also the UIC for the city of Laurel softball, the recreation league. And then I'm also the state UIC for Mississippi for USFA.
I mean, and that's what I think rings so many bells in my head around. I think parents sometimes take for granted that we don't get paid. And I know in some travel baseball leagues, coaches get paid for practices and games. But from a Little League rec standpoint, it's just pure heart. And sometimes you're just voluntold to do it. But you know, and that's a word that I've learned throughout my corporate careers. Sometimes you're just voluntold to do it. But you do it because of the love of the game and the love for the kids. It's not because you're out to get someone.
And we're not getting rich, you know. I've heard it, you're just out here for the money. You're just out here for the money. And I'm like, really? That is the most ridiculous thing that you could ever say to a youth sports official because they're not out there for the money. I can assure you that that's not it. We're out there because either we played the game, we have a love for the game, we love kids, we love the atmosphere, we love the environment before it started turning into what it is today. I mean, there's so many aspects out there that are why we're out there. And it's not no umpire or official that I have ever come across in 10 years and even prior to me becoming an official has ever looked at me and said, oh, well, you know, I swayed that way because that other team just pissed me off. Nobody, we don't care who wins.
Right.
Honest to God, we don't care who wins. Nobody's trying to cheat little Timmy out of a scholarship by calling him out.
In 12U baseball.
Right.
Right.
Or 6U.
I know. So you've been doing this for 10 years?
Yes.
So what have you seen that's changed with parents and with heckling and stuff? So like you said, there's like a baseline amount that you're used to and that you kind of expect. But has it really grown with the emerging internet or like social media where people think that they can just say what they want to say? Or has it been like this all the time?
No, it has not been like this all the time. When I first started, it was the heckling. And I can even take that in good fun. Right. I can joke around about that and be back. There's a fine line there, though, that you don't want to cross. But I can have fun with it. You know, shoot, I forgot my glasses at home. You know, maybe I'll bring them next game or whatever. I can have fun with that. But then we progressively went from that to cussing out and you suck and making it on a personal level. And once you cross that line, that should never be crossed. And then we've gone from cussing out to invitations to the parking lot to get straightened out after the game. And then now we've gone from that to we're being attacked on the field, 3 steps off the field, on the court, on whatever game it is that you're playing. And that's just got to stop. It's not okay. It's just not. What message are we sending to these kids?
That's right.
Well, what kind of message are we sending to these children? That it is okay for you to put your hands on someone or verbally assault them because you disagree with them in a call in a youth sports game?
Well, you know what's funny?
We've got to do better.
Well, I think you shared with me, or I saw on one of your posts last night where I don't watch Judge Judy enough, but the assailant that committed this crime, she was proud of it. and she was proud that she was going to be able to walk away with very little penalty and with no even mention to the game and the result. It was more just about how proud she was of her action and not anything about the outcome of the game. And we lose sight of so many things in life. And when we put these kids out there on that field, that's where we want them to mature and grow and gain that sense of responsibility and teamwork. And it just gets lost with one person's action like this. Someone's responsible for a life probably out there that committed this crime. It's just not okay, like you said.
Well, I will tell you this, and this will shed a little light on that, but since this happened and she posted her thing on Facebook about it was a misdemeanor that she was going to beat what the F we all thought, blah, blah, blah. Well, I also received a message on Facebook from her mother. So if that tells you anything.
Wow.
That was attacking you?
She accused me of some things that I didn't do or say and told me what I should have done instead of what I did, I suppose. But never one time has there been an apology from her, even remotely close to an apology. As a matter of fact, when I got to the police station to press the charges that night, the policeman came out there and was like, look, she says, if you don't drop these charges, she's going to press charges on you. And I'm like, for what? Okay, tell her to press them. What's she going to press them on me? I never even raised
You broke
my
her hand. You broke her hand.
You had a hard head.
I wish I would have broke her hand.
But there was mention earlier that some laws have changed. I wasn't aware of that. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, just going down the web, knowing Christy was going to be on, and I was going to have the pleasure to, unfortunately, due to circumstance, just commend her for being who she is as a person, that there are definitely laws right now, especially I know in the state of Mississippi, that a bill was introduced to the legislature that would actually make assaulting a referee or an umpire in any sport a felony as aggregated assault. So the bill didn't actually make the calendar in time, but there are individuals, and Aaron, you know me, I might now jump in this because I might try to accelerate it.
That's right.
On behalf of all the Christy Moores out there, that people need to be held accountable at a higher degree. It's the only way things are going to change. Unfortunately, we can kind of be change agents, everybody that's listening, and the four of us that are doing the podcast. But there needs to be an accountability factor that's a lot higher at the state level to protect our referees at the youth level, at any level.
At a professional level. I mean,
yeah.
Imagine the pressure that they feel in the middle of a Super Bowl with that last 5-second call. I mean, oh my God.
Yeah.
And Christy, that's not to undermine what you guys do or any of our youth officials do, but I mean, that pressure exists with every single call that you make on that field.
There was something with the Braves this last week where the pitcher was taking too much time to throw warm-up throws and the umpire stood in the way. And they had to keep the benches from clearing. And it's like,
it's insane.
How far do we go?
But honestly, and hopefully we've got a lot of youth baseball players listening to us. And Chrissy, as an example, is those umpires' intentions aren't to call you out. Their intentions aren't to embarrass you in front of your friends and family. Like, they're there to make an unbiased opinion about what just happened on that field. I heard a saying, and I can't remember to quote correctly, but never leave it in the umpire's hands. Like Matt said, you train, you push yourself, and if that ball ends up over the fence, that umpire has no way to call you. Actually, you know what? I'll correct that, because I did see a call the other day where a player hit the ball over the fence in a baseball game, but because he thought the player caught the ball was going over the fence, he ran outside the baseline and started back to the dugout.
And they called him out.
And they called him out. Oh yeah, I have to go back and find it, but I was about to say, if you hit the ball over the fence, you can never be called out. Right. But I've beg to differ on that one. So
yes, you can. Yeah.
but it's so funny as we talk about translatable life situations at the youth sports level. You are not going to be safe, or things aren't going to go your way your entire life.
That's right.
You're going to do everything that you've either trained for, or you're going to make right decisions, or you're going to do something where you feel in your heart that is the right thing to do, and other influences or situations or circumstances aren't going to go in your favor. That's okay.
Yep.
As long as you can look at yourself and be like, I did everything in my power
Right.
to try to hit a goal, succeed, get on base. That's all that matters. The result or the outcome actually truly doesn't matter, because if you continue to focus on that part in baseball, softball, any sport, or in life, you will live a happier, healthier life. And you'll win more than you lose. And you continue to work on, think about the results all the time and this wasn't, and you start pointing a finger and not looking in the mirror all the time, you're going to have a very challenging life.
This is what I want to say to parents and coaches that are listening to this. I think at some point we've lost the realization that officials are humans. We're expected to be perfect, and we're expected every call is supposed to line up with what your opinion on that call is supposed to be. But what you don't realize is what your opinion on what you think the call should be is the total opposite of what, 30 more people on the other side think that call should be.
Yep.
An official's job and my job is, number one, I'm there to enforce the rules of the game. That's it. That's my first priority. I'm in charge of that field. It's my job to run that field, to enforce the rules. And second of all, my judgment. My judgment calls are safe out, fair foul, ball strike, whatever the case may be. That's my judgment. That's why I'm out there. I'm on top of the play. You're sitting in the stands. I'm going to make a mistake. Every other official out there, we're going to make a mistake. We're going to have a bad day. We're going to forget a rule that we've known since we started officiating. Something silly. It's just going to completely leave our mind. We're going to be like, oh my gosh, like I totally blew that. That wasn't right in our mind. And let me tell you something. We are our own worst critic. I cannot tell you how many times I get in the car and I go home after a tournament or after a game, and I'm just like, oh my God, I replay everything. Every time somebody got upset, every time somebody yelled at me, did I blow that? Did I miss that? Was I out of position? Was that not correct? Should I have done this? Should I have done that? I beat myself up the whole way home. All we ask for is just a little bit of human kindness and a little bit of compassion. You don't know what that official is dealing with. You don't know what has happened in that person's life the day before or that morning. Maybe they found out their mom diagnosed with cancer. Maybe their pet for 15 years passed away. But they're still there. Guess why? So your kid can play the game that he loves. Please, I just ask you to just please reach down deep, find the humanity that is in you, and just cut a little slack. And if you think it's so easy and you think you can do it so much better, sign up. There's a shortage.
Amen. Everything you just said.
Well, I
Come
know.
on the board.
I talked to our president of our league here in Bowling Springs, South Carolina, the D2 Association for Youth Sports. And I think over the past few years, we've had some complaints over some umpires. And those umpires actually left. And so this season, we're presented with a whole new set of umpires. And we have a totally different issue with these umpires. And the problem is like you said earlier, like you're human. There's only, and not to get too deep into things, but there's only one perfect person that's ever existed. And, that's what I tell my son all the time is you don't let the small things bother you. There's only one perfect individual spirit, whatever we want to call, in this universe. And you're not going to be perfect every time, and never leave it in the umpire's hands. I mean, that's just as simple.
I got to interrupt you and tell you this funny story since you brought that up that I saw today online on something. It was on Facebook. But somebody had shared a post that this coach, I'm assuming it was a coach, just made this big post about just degrading the umpires, and the umpires were terrible and they were awful and blah, blah, blah. But thankfully, God was with them and they managed to pull out this win.
Isn't that funny how that works?
Yeah, and I just laughed to myself, and there were all these comments under about like, "Whoo, we're so glad God showed up to that game," and they're like, "Really, you think God cares who won this ball game?"
That's right. Oh Lord.
But it was kind of funny. But I mean, you have a valid point. Jesus ain't coming down to call a ball game, and now the rest of us
would be awesome. If we could,
it would be.
If he can get Jesus to come and call a ball game, I want to be at that ball.
And you know what, Christy? I bet there would be somebody that would question his call.
Oh, probably.
Oh, you know it.
That's right. Jesus wouldn't be perfect in that situation.
Yeah.
You know how some days you go to work and you're like all on it, like you're on point
That's
all
right,
day
yep.
long. You're energized. You're okay being there. You're doing your job. You're feeling good about yourself and your job and just having a great day. And then some days you get up and go and you're like, oh my God, like I'm just totally not feeling this. I don't want to be here today. I just watch the clock. Every minute seems like an hour. That's the same thing with an umpire. You know, we go in and we have a great day. We're on point. We're feeling good about our calls. We're hustling. We're getting in position like we're supposed to be. We're feeling like our strike zone is good, blah, blah, blah. We're just feeling great about it. And then somebody will come along and just crush that.
Another good life lesson in that.
Just
happens in daily
over
life
something
too.
so silly and just dumb. And then you're just kind of deflated from that point on, and it's hard to bounce back from that. Once somebody takes that away from you over something that you feel like you've really put your heart and soul into, and they get mad because little Timmy didn't win the pool game, and now the whole day is ruined because they lost their first pool game, and it's my fault. That kind of just sucks it out of you, and it's just a battle the rest of the day. So then you have that on top of you, along with all the pressures that come with just being out there in the first place.
Yeah, you've got kids, you've got a life that you could be living as well. Instead, you're spending your time with children of other parents out there. And so let's take the journey down the Little League baseball coach that was sitting there on his bucket. So I've been that opposing coach that definitely had a problem with something the umpire called. My best practice for the coaches out there, and I would love to hear any other coaches as well, is honestly, I'm not looking for the umpire to change the call in the minute, because I have to trust. We don't have instant replay in Little League baseball, unfortunately. I have to trust the call. But in between innings, that's the time to really have that conversation with the umpire. And I even most of the time try to pull my hat down over my mouth, just so I don't even, the parents don't even know what I'm having a conversation with them about. Because sometimes there's some good dialogue that goes on in between innings around what the coach saw versus what the umpire saw. And so I've been a part of a game multiple games actually, to where we've had parents that just get outrageous in the stands for Little League games and even for 8U now this year. What would you, as an umpire, how would you ask, or what would you ask of coaches, how to handle that type of situation with a parent that's just going ballistic in the stands?
In youth sports, it is the coach's responsibility to handle that. It's the coaches, and we actually say that. I go over that with my umpires before we start the day for tournament ball, or send it in a text during the week, covered at your plate meeting. Coaches, you're in charge of your fans and parents. If they go, you're going to go. At some point, there has to be a greater accountability for this. And I feel like, obviously, my own self, this is my personal umpiring. If I see I got an unruly parent that just is cussing and needs to go, and I got a coach that's trying to handle it. He's trying to deal with it, but the parent's just not listening. They're not paying him any heed whatsoever. Obviously, I'm going to give that coach, okay, well, he tried. He can't control another grown human being, and that he tried to get them to leave and they refused to leave for him too. At that point, it's coming to me, and I'm going to call the police if they don't leave, and I'm going to have them removed. But if the coaches would be, okay, look, guys, at the beginning of the season, here's our contract that we have for our travel ball team or what have you. This is what we're going to do. Okay, the first offense that you have in screaming and yelling, cussing at an official, your kid's getting on the bench. Going to the bench. I don't care if it's star pitcher,
home run hitter,
catcher. I don't care what it is. Your kid's going to the bench, depending on the severity of what you've said, either that game or the entire tournament. Second offense, your kid's off the team. Period. No questions asked. If somebody would ever just have the guts to do that, that would eliminate so much of this. Because at the end of the day, every parent is there or their kid, either living vicariously through their kid, trying to relive their youth.
That's right.
Or they're supporting their kid's dream of making it to the major leagues or making it to college or whatever that kid's aspirations are. And that's good. But there has to be a proper way to conduct yourself while you're there. And let me just go ahead and tell you, parents that are listening, listen real close to what I'm about to say, because I get this all the time. You would be surprised at what kids tell me when we're on the field. But when you're acting like that, you are embarrassing the ever-loving heck out of your kid. I cannot tell you how many times a kid has looked at me and just been like, oh, my God, that's my mom. I wish she would just shut up.
Yep.
Oh, my God,
Wow.
I can't believe my dad is doing that. Stop and think about what your behavior when you're acting like that is doing to your very own kid that you're supposed to be there to support.
That's right. Are you thinking about yourself right now? Or are you thinking about what benefits your child? And in my opinion, and I don't definitely want to get on my soapbox, but teaching your kids to respect officials is the first thing, like as a mature adult, you learn is when you've got an umpire, you've got a principal, you've got a teacher, a boss, right? You can never pick those individuals in life. And that's hard for me. Like I've spent 25 years in the retailing world and corporate America, and you will never be able to choose your boss or your coach every single year. And as a responsible person, you learn how to deal with those situations. And unfortunately, situations like this are proving to our kids that it's okay to stand up sometimes when they just disagree or they got their feelings hurt. And that's not how the world should work. I guess I should say that.
No. When you're raising your kids in a manner where everything is supposed to go their way 100% of the time, and when you don't ever let them fail, and you don't ever let them fall and pick themselves back up, and you fight every battle for them, including a safe out call on a bag.
Right.
That's right.
At some point in time, that you're not doing that child any favors, because they're going to grow up and they're not going to know how to handle anything on their own. They're not going to know how to function in society and learn how to handle disappointments and failures and losses. And because let's just be honest about it. The real world is a mean world. You're not going to win at everything. You're not going to get every job you apply for.
That's right.
You're not going to get every boyfriend or girlfriend that you want.
Right. Tell them, Christy. Keep telling them.
That's it.
I mean, you're not going to. And your children have to learn how to deal with disappointments and failures. Not everybody can win every game. You have to know how to win gracefully, and you also need to know how to lose gracefully.
That's right. Well, and honestly, I think you don't even appreciate a really good win until you've had some hard losses. And that's when you truly gain that gratification of what it truly feels like to earn something in life. Matt, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I just went, if you go to Hollix Hitting Garage, or you go to the Slide Podcast, because I just tagged them, or if you go to HHG_Florida on our Instagram side, I just posted on the Hollix Hitting Garage sites a challenge, like I said earlier, to all parents to explode Facebook and Instagram with love for umpires and referees. Take a picture, post a picture, and hashtag Christy Moore on it. And let's just blow social up with love to our referees and our umpires in the game of baseball.
And Christy, not to end our story the way we are, but like Matt started it off, is thanking you for putting yourself out there. Because I think what started as a simple post caught on like wildfire and just sort of,
it really has.
It took off on its own.
It did. And it's not just nationwide. I have heard from people from Canada, from Australia, from Puerto Rico, from Nigeria, from France. I mean, all over the world, I've gotten messages from, and I'll be honest with y'all, I don't even know what some of these people's sports are. Like, I'm like, what? I don't even know what that is. Let me Google that up because I have no idea. But it's just, I think this is bringing officials of all sports as a united front now, as like, hey, we've had enough. It's time that we stand together. It's time we put our foot down and say enough's enough, or we're out. We're done.
I think that we knew this was a problem, but I think this is a really good stepping stone to put it in people's faces and really do something about it.
You're the exclamation point at the end of the sentence to say there was a problem. And, and for every Little League coach out there that has a problem with an umpire, I've been one of them. I'm not. The first episode, we said we're not perfect and we're not here to tell you exactly how to do every single thing. But when you walk up to that plate for that first meeting with the umpire, make them smile. Yeah. They're human. And I can tell you, as a coach, the more you can make them smile and you can be human with them, you'll get their calls a little bit more.
Hey, look, if you just feed me a bag of Skittles, we all do.
That's right.
Oh, my God. You're about to get loaded with that.
Oh, yeah. Skittles. There we go. Marshawn Lynch and his Skittles.
Skittles is listening to this podcast. Send Christy Moore all the Skittles that you can.
Hey, look, wild berries.
That's right. Well, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. I mean, we're pressing 90 minutes now, so we haven't exceeded really the 25-minute limit since we started our podcast. So honestly, and today was amazing. So I got a few questions to ask you guys. So I sat down today and I said, you know what? I want to ask some weird questions today. So Matt, I'm going to let you go first.
Sure.
So our kids in our league, and I know my son takes his walkout song super serious, because that's what sets his mood. So if you were walking up to bat today, what would be your walkout song?
Oh, my God. This is real. This is real.
This is real.
So,
this is serious stuff.
This is real. To get yourself, one, to drive your endorphins and your serotonin up, but to remain calm is a key to hitting. And that walk-up music is big for people. It puts them in a zone, puts them in a comfort place. It gets them excited. I would play, and you can go, and I don't want to keep plugging my stuff, but you can go to Hollix Hitting Garage on Facebook, and you can go to HHG_Florida. I have a commercial that I start with Lose Yourself by Eminem, and it's a picture of me sitting in a locker room, and it has everything around that song and what that song's about, as far as having one opportunity, one chance at whatever it may be. What are you going to do with it? So, yeah, my walk-up song would be Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Awesome.
I like it.
So, Christy, you don't get walkout songs as an umpire.
No, but I should, darn it.
That's right. So, Christy, your next game, what is your walkout song?
I'm going to have to go with the classic one. This is just one of the best songs of all freaking time to me. I listen to it just about daily. Love it, jam to it. Is Sweet Child of Mine.
Oh, my God. Look.
That's my karaoke song.
Oh, my gosh. Chrissy, I have a plaque on my wall with Guns N' Roses, and you stole my thunder because I haven't revealed mine yet.
Leave it to a woman. God.
That's right. Oh,
great. That's great.
You're going to be a regular on the podcast, I think, now. So, all right. So, let's say you're stranded on a desert island. What cereal would you want on that island?
Oh, great question.
Christy, we're going to let you go first. Christy.
Okay, I'll go first. Mine is going to be Frosted Mini Wheats. I can eat them raw. I can eat them with milk, any old way.
Dip them in peanut butter.
Oh, peanut butter.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That's good stuff.
All right. God. Frosted Mini Wheats there for, a little product placement. So, Matt, what's your cereal of choice?
Can I pick like 7?
No. Not tonight.
You sound like my little boy.
All right, so I'll give you 2. I have about 7. I absolutely hammered back when I was younger Apple Jacks.
Ooh, that's such a good classic.
Oh, I did too.
I love it. Yeah.
I loved Apple Jacks, and then that morphed into loving Fruity Pebbles.
Oh yes, that's it. That's mine.
Yeah, all the things. I mean, great question though. Great question.
All right, last one. So, desert island, you've got a DVD player or streaming device of your choice. What movie are you watching for the rest of your life? Matt, you're up on this one.
100%. Can I pick like 4 or 5?
No,
one, Matt.
One, Matt.
Oh, God. I absolutely, my number one movie, and I'm going to stay out of the sports realm because I could go down that rabbit hole, but I'll just say my favorite movie is Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
Shut up, that's my answer.
Sorry about that. I love all things about that movie with Andy Dufresne and Morgan Freeman, obviously, as the actor.
Legend.
Plus, there's an actor that's in it that's a good, really chick. Mike Ciccolella is actually acts in that movie. He's a good friend of my father's, but that has nothing to do with it. I just love that story. And if that comes on, if it's on cable or pops up, I'm locked in. And I probably watch that movie 30 to 40 times.
Oh, that's a tearjerker.
Yeah, me too. But I'm going to go a different route since he stole my.
There you go.
I'm going to go with the little comedy thing, and because that's my favorite overall theme of movies is comedies. And I'm going to have to go with The Heat with Sandra Bullock.
Oh my gosh, that is a great movie. So funny.
Kids, you cannot watch that movie right now.
The proposal is great too.
No, but I love Sandra Bullock. She's freaking
great.
Awesome. She's my favorite actress, and I love Melissa McCarthy. They're just awesome, and together they were just simply hilarious.
They should make a sequel to that one.
Well, your kids are definitely going right now to Amazon.
I know it. I'm pretty sure it's a pretty good R, so you might not be able to get that one.
Good.
All right, so I've got to ask Jen the same question. So we're up on the end of time. So Jen, what's your favorite cereal?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Awesome.
I can eat it dry, like the entire bag, all at once.
Wow. Okay. Favorite movie?
Oh, I'm gonna have to go with A League of Their Own. I pretty well have every word down, so people hate to watch that movie with me.
What was Dottie's sister name?
Oh, are you really gonna ask me that?
What was her name?
Kit.
I always had a crush on her growing up. Oh my God.
Lori Petty.
Yes, she did.
Well,
she was amazing.
So I was a catcher in college, so I always wanted to be Dottie.
Yes. Okay.
Dottie was my hero.
And your walkout song?
I don't remember what my college walkout song was, but
what would it be today?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. It's so important. I can't do it on the whim.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to give that some thought.
So, of course, I came up with the questions, and so I should have to state mine as well. Yep. So my favorite movie is, without a shadow of a doubt, Remember the Titans. I remember when I was drugged to the movies to see it, and I knew what the ending, it was going to have a happy ending. It was a Disney movie. But I'm going to tell you, Denzel Washington and the passion that he leads those young adults through, and the fact that it's a real life story, I'm getting cold chills right now even thinking about it. Like, it's unreal.
Great movie, Aaron.
So I'm going to stay with Christy on my walkout song. So I'm going to have to go Paradise City because I'm a GNR fan, and I love 80s hair bands, and I love hard rock. So that's where I have to stay with that one. And my favorite cereal, Matt, I'm going to take the Fruity Pebbles because, man, how can you argue with so much flavor in one bite?
You can't.
Amazing.
You're absolutely right.
You could just eat some Skittles.
You're right. That's right.
Skittles.
That's the Skittles of cereal right there.
So, Aaron, you're doing a great job. If you are with Kellogg or you're with Nestle with Skittles, then the Slide Podcast.
That's right.
We threw Disney in there too. So.
We did.
Exactly. Good point, Jeff.
Oh, so awesome. Well, hey, I want to thank you guys very, very much for your time this afternoon, spending with us, with all of our young players listening, our coaches listening. Hopefully, we've got a lot of fans of Little League Baseball. But thank you both so much for spending some time with us to walk us through your journey in youth sports and how important it is to you. And I want to tell you on behalf of Jen, I'm talking for you now, but thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We're a small podcast. We're adding up cost when it comes to this podcast. So thank you so much for your time. It's been amazing. I've learned, Matt, whether it's talking to you through all of our conversations, Christy, hearing your story, it makes me as a coach want to be a better coach. Makes me want to be a better parent. And hopefully we've got some individuals out there listening that make this decision tonight on this call to show up differently to that field and to be a role model for those kids out on that field, and for that coach to stand up and fight for their kids and show respect and humility with everyone they come in contact with. So thank you guys very, very much.
Look, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing my story and raising this awareness to official abuse. I really, really do appreciate it a lot.
Yep. And Aaron, likewise, thank you, Christy, for your story. I will go on record right now, Hollix Hitting Garage, due to the relationship that I have with Aaron, with this podcast, with Jen, Christy, after hearing your story, Hollix Hitting Garage will be coming to Spartansburg, South Carolina next summer. We will be having a very, very large event there. It's going to be fun. It's going to be loud. It's going to be engaging. And the charity that causes that is going to be our umpires across the country.
There you go.
Love that.
Really, really cool things in honor of Christy next year at Hollix Hitting Garage. Haven't coined that tour yet, but Hollix Hitting Garage next year will be in Spartansburg at a facility, possibly a very, very large facility. And we'll do some cool things in honor of Christy and all of our umpires and referees around the country.
Well, maybe we can talk to our friends.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, maybe, Matt, we can talk to our friends up the street from us, the Greenville Drive, have this event at that big green monster that we have in Greenville, South Carolina. So, and yes, Christy, sir, you're invited. You can come cut the ribbon, and we can cut a ribbon for Hollix Hitting Garage and for the Slide Podcast. Hopefully,
hey, that would be awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on and spending some time with us. I know we've enjoyed it, and thank you guys very much. I'll conclude this session with we'll catch you on the slide. Thank you very much. All right, Slide fans, we just finished up episode 3, and I know it was 90 minutes long, but hopefully you learned a little bit of something, you took away something, and you laughed a little bit with us. So thank you for hanging in there for 90 minutes to talk to Matt, Jen, and Christy Moore. Thank you guys very, very much for coming on the show with us today and sharing a little bit about your passions and your stories. All right, it's contest time with the Slide Podcast. In order to enter this contest, we have a few rules for you guys. But I know you're wondering, what will I win? So we're giving away a Louisville Slugger baseball bat accompanied with Franklin batting gloves, and also 2 Perfect Stance hitting mats. In order to enter the podcast contest, we want you to take a picture with your umpire, post that picture to our Facebook or Instagram page, tag 3 friends, and subscribe to our podcast. Multiple entries accepted. We look forward to seeing your pictures with your umpires go viral on social media over the next 2 weeks. Thank you guys for listening, and until next time, we'll catch you on the slide. Performance Mobility, a performance-focused physical therapy office helping to keep you happy, healthy, and living life to its fullest potential. Thank you, Coach Jen. I also want to give a shout out to Hollix Hitting Garage and Perfect Stance Hitting Mats. Matt Hollix was on today to talk about his Louisville Slugger hitting clinics that he's putting on throughout the U.S. and will be coming to a town near you. Finally, I want to make sure to give a huge shout out to Christy Moore. We've heard your story, we've felt a little bit of your pain, and we want to make sure to send a special thanks to you and every umpire throughout the U.S. Keep supporting our umpires.
Thanks for listening to the Slide Podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. In the meantime, stay connected with Coach Jen and Aaron on Instagram at The Slide Podcast Show, on Facebook at The Slide Podcast, and the Facebook private group, The SLIDE Podcast. Until next time.